as your voice is vital in how we shape our policies and direction. Thank you all for your commitment, and we want everyone to be heard. The speaking time today will be 2 minutes per speaker. Translation. We will be using simultaneous interpretation to prevent interruptions to our speakers. If anyone in the audience needs or requires Spanish language interpretation for this meeting, please notify LAHD staff to obtain a headset. Those who are in person that do not speak Spanish will also need a headset for English interpretation. For those on Zoom that require interpretation, please select the appropriate language interpretation using the globe-shaped interpretation button, but only when you require it. Otherwise, please tune in to the main audio channel. For example, if you are in the Spanish language interpretation channel and there's a public comment in Spanish, you will need to switch to the main audio to hear it in Spanish and vice versa. With that closes item 1. We're now going to item 2, which is roll call. I will ask our guest city attorney, Michael Heinrichs, to please take roll.
Committee Chair Michelle Espinosa-Coulter.
Here.
Vice Chair Zarita Jones.
Here.
Charlie C. Absent. Debbie Chen. Absent. Jennifer Gaeta. Absent. Taylor Holland.
Here.
Zella Knight. Absent. Nancy Lewis.
Here.
Jacob Lipa. Absent. Alma Morales. Absent. Laura Raymond. Absent. Leilani Reed. Absent. Crystal Romero.
Here.
And Daniela Solano.
Here.
Thank you.
Item number 2. Item number 3, public comment. Again, thank you to those of you who have joined us to speak. Speakers are allowed up to 1 minute on specific items and up to 1 minute for general public comment for a total of 2 minutes. We will start with in-person public comment, followed by those who are joining us virtually on Zoom or by phone. Let us proceed with in-person public comment.
Yes, Joe Donlin, and it indicates general public comment.
Good afternoon. It's just this side of the room, I guess. Joe Donlan, Director of United House LA Coalition. Hopefully you all have seen the letter we sent along. The point that I just wanted to lift up is that there's been a lot of critiques and attacks against Measure ULA. And as we've noted in our letter, we've analyzed and will continue to talk through and look at those critiques, but we have major concerns with some of the research that's come out recently that has tried to make causal allegations around ULA's impact. And, we see this as, something that, is sparking some conversation, and we welcome dialogue. But there is a bill that is in Sacramento, AB 698, that is the direct threat, and those reports are being used as justification for that bill. And so one of our asks of you all today is to join the effort to oppose, that bill and any other efforts to undermine Measure ULA. These don't have to tell you all how important the dollars are for affordable housing and homelessness prevention and tenant protection programs at a time when, there is great fiscal crisis in our city, at a time where federal dollars are being slashed left and right. These are crucial resources. The voters have spoken. This is, a local initiative that, should really be supported and expanded rather than being weakened or dismantled. And so happy to talk more. There's a lot of details to discuss and welcome partnership to, think through a game plan together. Thank you.
The next in-person speaker, Devin Woodbine.
Hello.
I wanted to talk about the housing department's rent division. I have worked with the rent division to try to get reduction of services once my owner took up my parking away, heating, garbage, and every single time that I've opened up these cases going back early last year, the department says, "Oh, you don't qualify," or it's not long enough, or you're a Section 8 tenant, so you're already getting cheap rent. Why would you even need a reduction of services? So once I've escalated the situation and I spoke to his bosses, told me today, oh, I never said any of that, you know, we will send it to Section 8. But the fact of the matter is, when you go into the housing department, they tell you of all these things about what you're entitled to, what your rights are. And when you try to exercise them with the housing department, they don't actually work. I'm constantly having to fight to just even get them to admit that these things are occurring and getting pushback. He says, why should I have to do that when when I go into their offices and they say that this opportunity exists? It's very difficult for tenants who don't necessarily have the time, who are working and have other stuff going on in lives to say that, I'm entitled to this. I think it's something that needs to be discussed, especially with Measure ULA, where we're going to give more funding and opportunities, but are they really going to follow those ordinance? Thank you.
We have no more in-person speakers listed. We have 4 for virtual comment. The first one from Audit LA. Audit LA, if you could either press *6 if you're appearing by phone, or use the unmute function to speak if you're appearing by Zoom. Okay, we'll take the second public commenter, Henry Marini.
This meeting is being recorded.
Yes. Mr. Marini, your 2 minutes has elapsed. If you could, in 10 seconds, sum up your comments. Thank you. The next virtual commenter is Tuesday Thomas.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hi. What I want to talk about is the budget protection from tenant harassment. You have a carryover from last year of 10 million some odd dollars. Nothing's in the expenditures for 24 to 25. You have encumbered balance of over $3 million. And a remaining balance of over 6 million, almost 7 million. I, for the last year, have been constantly harassed by a landlord. I'm 62. I'm disabled. I am trans. I have utilized LAHD. 2 anti-harassment letters were sent. Amenities have been taken away. LAHD has done nothing. I am in hell. Just even today, I was verbally assaulted by her in my hallway. These landlords know that there's nothing that's going to be done to them. I am in an RSO, rent control unit, and I'd like to know, is it protections from tenant harassments or protections to harass tenants? Where's the money? What is happening? How come I cannot get any help? All I get are different people at LAHD. And the minute she replies to anything and she says, I have a lawyer, you all back down. You all don't even investigate. I've had instances where I have proof that she's lied, where she's admitted in emails she's lied, and you guys do not do anything. I am in pure hell, and there's so many other people in this loophole. Where is this money going to? Spend it on actual protections to stop landlords from harassing tenants. Listen to us. When we send you proof, don't back down from the landlords. LAHD is becoming known to be for the landlords, not for the tenants, and is a sham. And those are my comments, and I need help. And I am so tired of living in fear. I have physical disabilities and mental disabilities. I live in fear every day of being homeless for the last year from this woman that I have proof. I have videos, I have documents, I have emails, hundreds and hundreds in Google Drive.
Thank you, Speaker Thomas. Your 2 minutes has expired.
Thank you.
The next virtual commenter is Brad West.
Hi there, folks. I'm going to be speaking on general public comment and item number 9. My name is Brad West. I am with the Supportive Housing Alliance, which is a coalition of a dozen supportive housing developers across Los Angeles. Just wanted to bring up a couple issues regarding item number 9 with the loan limit, description of some of the programs. One is that for the housing preservation programs, we need to be able to explicitly say that it needs to fund projects that aren't not just funding projects with immediately expiring affordability covenants. The reason why is because a lot of our buildings have affordability covenants of 55 years or more, and buildings need preservation dollars, need rehabilitation dollars 25, 30 years into their lifespan, even though they might be 25 years away from an affordability covenant expiring. So that's critically important. I thought this was going to be part of the program guidelines when these got initially proposed. It seems like it's getting lost in the mix, so we need to be really explicit about that. The last comment I have is on the operating assistance program. It's far, far too low. $2,000 a year or $4,000 maximum over 2 years is not going to make a dent in things. Just amongst our 12-member portfolios, we've seen a rise of insurance premiums of $19 million. Out of just 6 of our portfolios that we analyzed, 5,000 units of affordable and supportive housing units will be completely depleted of their operating reserves by the end of next year due to high insurance costs, which continue to persist and in fact have gotten worse in the aftermath of the fires. This is just not even close to where it needs to be to actually make a dent and actually impact so we can maintain these community assets and keep housing people who are formerly unhoused. So I sincerely hope you review these pieces and make amendments to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next virtual speaker is Maya Daniels.
Hello, Citizens Oversight Committee. My name is Maya Daniels. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm the current policy associate with the Trans Latina Coalition. For this 2025-2026 fiscal year, our organization has 2 policy priorities that we have been advocating for since late last year. Our first would be the TGI Wellness and Equity Initiative, a $3 million ask of the city to invest into transgender, gender nonconforming, and intersex-led and serving organizations throughout the city of Los Angeles. Our second ask is to create a housing subsidy fund of, at a minimum, $7 million using the ULA funds. This fund would be meant for transgender, gender nonconforming, and intersex people, seniors, folks with disabilities, the formerly incarcerated, and also immigrants who don't qualify for other housing programs and services at the city level. Breaking down the $7 million fund, if we give each person $600 a month, we can reach 800 people. But I don't know personally who can live in this city with rent costing $600 a month. We could double that at $1,200 a month, and that would serve 400 people. But I personally believe making this fund larger than 7 million would be the best course of action. But we are asking for a minimum of 7 million. We've met with the city council members and their teams, and they are aware of our asks from the city and are seeking to work with the Citizens Oversight Committee in implementing this housing subsidy. I've had some difficulties getting into contact with COC members and would love to get some emails to further touch base and meet to see if this housing subsidy idea is possible to be implemented. You can contact me at Mayad, MAYAD, at translatinacoalition.org. That's Mayad at translatinacoalition.org. TRANSLATINACOALITION.org. Thank you so much.
Our last virtual speaker is Chichi Navarro.
Hi there, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Give me just 1 second. Sorry, my phone is not working on me. Here we go. Hi, everybody. My name is Chichi Navarro. Any pronoun is okay. I currently serve as a member of the executive team for the Transgender Advisory Council for the City of LA. I'm also part of the Commission on HIV as the co-chair for the Commission on HIV through the Transgender Caucus. But here today, I am here to speak as a member of the community, as well as someone who's heavily involved with different nonprofit organizations, including Translatina Coalition. The dissolution of LASA is a clear signal that Los Angeles County must do a better job in addressing homelessness. Years of inadequate transparency, accountability, and service delivery led to this decision. As the Citizens Oversight Committee, or ULA, your responsibility is to ensure we do not repeat these mistakes, demanding transparency reporting, independent audits, and measurable progress. It is essential that the new system centers the needs of those facing the greatest barriers to housing and services. This includes TGI and disabled people, but also formerly incarcerated individuals and immigrants. Formerly incarcerated people are nearly 10 times more likely to experience homelessness than the general public, facing discrimination from landlords and restrictions on subsidized housing. Immigrants, especially those without legal status, encounter language barriers, limited access to services, and fear of enforcement, all of which makes stable housing even harder to secure. I ask you to prioritize policies and funding that address these inequities, ensuring accessibility and provide culturally competent services. Establish the tenant council quickly and give it real influence so lived experience drives oversight and planning. By centering the most marginalized TGI plus, disabled, formerly incarcerated, and immigrant Angelinos, ULA can build a more just and effective system for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to recall Audit LA for public comment.
Oh, thank you. I was having issues. Yes, I'd like to just ask, about housing and everything. There's so much going on, and it's very confusing to the public, because it seems like every day things change. And I know there's a lot of issues between, if you're a renter and you have fear that you're going to lose, especially in this economy right now, that you're going to lose your housing over anything if you lose your job or whatever. But then there's also the landlord who's like, if they're small landlords, they're feeding their family with being a landlord. And so I just wish there was more streamlined information that, where we can just maybe go to where we can really understand, like, because it seems like every day things change. And I am an advocate in the community. I deal with, the abuses of Scientology and how they treat the unhoused, and the fact that they have so much space that they could help and they don't. But I know that's not the purview for here. So, but I do also advocate for the unhoused, and I've helped numerous people get into programs, to get help, and they've ended up getting permanent housing. But even those things change constantly, and the rules, and then the rules for what one place is different than the next, and from council district to council district, nothing is cohesive. And it would just be really helpful if everything could be streamlined, and that maybe the city council, there could be a dedicated website to just where we can understand in layman's terms, and because everything's like, A, B, this, our prop, that, like, you know what I mean, but in a way that's not confusing, but as tools for people who want to help. Because people ask me, they know I do this, and they're like, well, what about this? And I'm like, I have no idea, because if today's Thursday, it's going to be different than it was Monday. So that's all I'm asking, and I appreciate you giving me the time, since I couldn't go earlier. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We do not have any other speakers signed up.
Okay, thank you. I want to kind of summarize or bullet point what I heard to make sure I heard everything, and maybe do a little bit of like asking and delegating out on some things. So I heard the protections from tenant harassment, wanting more information about the use of those funds. I think that's going to be part, Edwin and Callie, I think that's going to be part of your report out today. So just making sure that we hit on protection from tenant harassment programs. Oversight, the importance of oversight and transparency in our housing and homelessness programs. Couldn't agree more. I think that's the general ethos here. I'm not sure who to delegate that to. Just want to like raise it up that we hear you. I heard TGI. Help me with that acronym. Transgender. TGI. Transgender intersex wellness, and ways that that program can intersect with ULA programs. Abigail, I think you probably recorded the contact information. Thank you. Preservation dollars, concerns about the time period of expiring covenants. We have certainly, LHD and I have certainly talked about that, and we'll talk about that more in the future. Thank you for the concern about that. Operating support being insufficient, and did I miss anything? Okay, so just wanting to make sure that I captured everything, and hope that people informing us and helping us here today can address some of these concerns. Okay, all right. All right, so with that, I'm going to close out the public comment period. Item number 3, and move to the chair's report. Okay. So we have a number of things to cover in the chair's report. I'm going to be as concise as possible, but forgive my droning on for a bit. I've got 4 things that I want to say. The first thing is about the NOFA streamlining review. At the last meeting, which I missed, but was pleased to come back and hear that I was delegated a responsibility, and that was to work with LAHD regarding the super NOFA process. And so we did that. A group of us, including myself, the IIG staff, SCAMP's policy director and teammate, the HLA head, committee member Nancy Lewis, all of us engaged in a detailed discussion with LAHD about the process around the NOFA timeline, the super NOFA timeline, I should say.
Gonna cut it off there, and yeah. See you guys next time.